What's up, guys, and welcome back once again to Did Reviews. Today I'm going to be doing another cooler review. I've done a unboxing of this previously. Not many people have seen it, but if you want to see that, then I'll put that up in the top corner for you to go and have a look at the unboxing of that. So today we're going to be checking out the Gelid Liquid 360. Nice, easy name to remember. This is from Gelid, obviously, and it's their ultimate AIO liquid CPU cooler with a temperature display. So basically we're going to do some testing on it with Cinebench, and we'll do a game test as well, just to give you more of a real world scenario, and then we'll give some noise testing as well. Obviously I'll show you a bit of B-roll, what it looks like once it's installed. So that's about it, guys. Let's get into that B-roll, show you that, and then we'll go straight on talking about the performance. Right, so it's been installed, it's been tested, you've seen what it looks like. We'll talk about that in a second. Let's get straight on with the performance and how it performs in the tests I've done. In terms of idle temperatures, 100% fan speed is at 35, at 75 it was about 36, and at 50 it was about 38 on my testing. Ambient temperature was around 16.5 degrees at the time of doing that. So that's the ambient idle temperatures. Don't tell you a lot, they're fine, no problem with those whatsoever. So in terms of max testing, we did 10 minutes of multi-core testing on the 5900X on Cinebench, to see, basically, to push it as hard as possible. And obviously this is not really a real world test. This is more of a worst case scenario, so your temperatures during everyday activities are going to be a lot lower than this. So I tested it at 100% fan speed, 75% fan speed and 50% fan speed, and I'll give you ambient temperatures as well. And on my graphs I shall put on the ambient temperatures as well, to give you a better idea of how it's performing. So maximum 100% fan speed was 70 degrees, and that was at an ambient of 16.5. At 75%, again at 70 degrees, but at 16.8, so it actually works out a bit better. And then at 50% of fan speed, it got to 72 maximum at a temperature of 17.4, so again, not bad at all. The over ambient temperatures will be on the graph for you to see. So absolutely fantastic results there. Does its job, does it very, very well. Then we went on to a gaming test. I use Shadow the Tomb Raider on all my tests normally, because it hits the CPU a bit harder than, or relatively hard to be fair. So I do that at 1080p highest settings, just to give a real sort of world scenario of how it will perform. Now bear in mind with these, sometimes I'll speak about them anyway, sometimes you get a bit of a spike when you're starting the test, and then obviously it comes down, which is why I give an average temperature on these tests, because it basically gives you a better idea of how it performed. So maximum 100% fan speed, the maximum was 60 degrees. At 75% it was 48. I didn't get a massive spike on that one for some reason, I don't know why, but I'll talk about the ambient average temperatures in a minute. And then at 50% I got a maximum of 52, so again I didn't get a massive spike as I did on the first test. But this shows a bit better in the average temperatures. So at 100% I got 47 average, so as you can see that was a spike of 60. At 75% I actually got 46 degrees. That was probably because I didn't get the spike, so it's brought it down a little bit. So pretty much the same sort of temperatures on the average at 75% fan speed. And at 50% fan speed, it got up to 49 on the average. So again, fantastic results, doing a great job on this 5900X, which is a 12-core, 24-thread CPU. Right, so obviously we've seen the performance of this cooler in terms of thermal performance. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the noise of it, as it's stated as being quite quiet on sort of the marketing and the box itself. So basically all I've done this time, instead of showing you graphs or anything like that, I'll give you a sort of a proper insight into what it sounds like. So I've held the mic up to it and held my decibel meter up to it as well, so you can see what it is and you can hear what it's like as well at the different fan speeds. So I'll play those now. 100%, 75%, 50%, So as you can see, in terms of noise, it's not bad at all. Yes, at 100% it is obviously audible. At 75% it's still audible. At 50% it's still audible, but it's not too bad at all. And personally, I think it's pretty quiet when you run it in sort of slower speeds. Like if you set like a silent fan curve, like Asus boards have built into them on their software, it does a great job. And as you can see from the thermal results, even at the slower fan speeds, it still performs really, really well. So you don't need to run it full bore all the time. But obviously that's there if you need it. So in terms of sound, I think it's absolutely fantastic. Now let's move on to a few things I sort of don't like about it. Other than obviously I've spoke about the things I do like really in terms of its thermal performance is good. It looks great. And it sounds pretty decent as well. So basically I took on a couple of little things. It's not massive. So the fans on it, although they look absolutely fantastic, pun intended, the infinity rings on the ones I've got at least are slightly, ever so slightly off center, so it does look a little bit like they're wobbling, but it's not a massive issue at all, especially if you've got them at the top. You don't really see them too much. Other than that, the screen on it, although it's nice to have, it's not a screen, sorry, the little temperature readout is, although it's nice to have, it's not the most useful. As it doesn't connect to USB or to the motherboard sensor or anything like that, it's not giving you CPU temperature. It's giving you liquid temperature, I assume, is what it's going to be reading out, because even when I was up in the 70s and stuff in temperature, in my temperature testing, when it got to its maximum, I was still reading like 30, low 30s on that. So it's not really obviously telling you much about what's going on for your CPU. It's telling you what the liquid temperature is at the time. So is it useful? Not massively. Obviously it tells you that you've got a little bit you've got quite a lot of headroom left in sort of the cooler, as in the fluid can get a bit warmer and it's not going to be too much of an issue, that kind of thing. But other than that, it's not the most useful readout that's like compared to some of the others which have got screens on them, which can tell you exactly what sensor they're reading from, and they can show you GPU, CPU, all that kind of stuff. But this isn't a screen, but it does look nice. Other than that, it does look nice. But obviously you decide whether that's going to be something you want. But even if you just want a normal AIO, and that's got that on, it looks really nice anyway. So yeah, you decide basically. So that's it, guys. Really, there's not really much more to talk about in terms of this cooler. Really impressed with it. If you're looking for an AIO 360, or even obviously they do 240 as well, or you're looking at this one in particular, then yeah, I can recommend it for sure. Just obviously look at it in terms of your budget, how much you want to spend, and what the sort of performances you want. But this performs well, so yeah, I can definitely recommend it. And thank you again, Gelid, for sending this out to me. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a like. If you didn't, give it a dislike. Doesn't matter. It's your choice. And if you haven't already subscribed, then please do. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.